Every day your eyes help you do things you probably don't even think about anymore. Reading a message, seeing the road ahead, recognizing the face of someone you love, watching the people around you, seeing ordinary moments that might not feel extraordinary until you imagine not being able to see them clearly anymore. And that's one of the strange things about vision. We often don't think much about protecting it while our eyes are still quietly doing their job. We start thinking about it when something begins to change. After 60, long-term eye health becomes increasingly important. And while no fruit can guarantee perfect vision or stop every eye problem, there is one small fruit you may want to keep on your shopping list. It's small, dark blue, easy to overlook, and researchers have spent years studying the natural compounds inside it. The fruit is blueberries. Now I want to be completely honest from the beginning. Blueberries cannot restore vision you've already lost. They cannot cure cataracts, glaucoma, or other eye diseases, and eating them cannot guarantee that your vision will never get worse. But blueberries are a nutritious fruit that may deserve a place in a healthy diet after 60. And the reason researchers find them interesting begins with their color. That deep blue and purple color comes partly from natural plant compounds called anthocyanins. You don't need to remember that name. What matters is why researchers are interested in these compounds. Anthocyanins are being studied because they may interact with processes related to oxidative stress and the health of blood vessels, two areas that can become increasingly important as we age. And that matters because your eyes depend on delicate tissues and a healthy blood supply. Now, that does not mean anthocyanins have been proven to prevent eye disease. The evidence is much stronger for an overall healthy dietary pattern than for blueberries alone as a way to prevent specific vision problems. But it does help explain why blueberries are an interesting fruit to include in a varied, nutritious diet. Not magical, practical. And before you spend extra money on fresh blueberries, here's something that may save you money. You don't necessarily have to buy them fresh. Plain frozen blueberries can also be a nutritious, convenient option. In fact, think about what often happens. You buy an expensive box of fresh blueberries, you plan to eat them every morning. Then life gets busy. A few days pass. You open the refrigerator and now they're going bad. If that sounds familiar, frozen blueberries may actually be the smarter choice for your routine. You can keep them longer, use only what you need, add them to oatmeal, yogurt, smoothies, or other meals, and avoid throwing away food you paid for. Fresh and frozen are not necessarily identical in every situation. Nutrient levels can vary depending on storage and processing, but fresh is not automatically the only nutritious option. Sometimes, the fruit you actually eat consistently is more useful to your routine than the expensive fruit you regularly throw away. Quick question for you. Do you normally buy your blueberries fresh or frozen? Let me know in the comments. And here's another mistake people make once they hear a food is good for the eyes. They start treating it like medicine. They think, if a little is good, then a lot must be better. But there is no scientifically established blueberry dose proven to protect your eyesight. You do not need a giant bowl. You do not need to eat blueberries all day, and you don't need a special eye health dose. For many people, roughly half a cup to 1 cup can simply be a practical food portion as part of a balanced diet. The key word is practical. Food is food, not a prescription, and healthy habits don't need to become unnecessary extremes. But for millions of adults over 60, there's another question that may matter even more. What if you have diabetes? Here's the direct answer. Blueberries can fit into many people's diets, including diets for people managing diabetes, but portion size and the overall eating plan matter. Some people hear that fruit contains sugar and decide that all fruit should be avoided. Others hear that blueberries are healthy and assume they can eat unlimited amounts. Both ideas miss the bigger picture. Healthy does not mean unlimited. The more useful question is not simply, are blueberries good or bad? It's, how does this portion fit into my overall eating pattern and my individual blood sugar plan? That answer can be different from person to person. So the goal isn't to fear fruit, and it isn't to treat blueberries like a medical treatment. It's to think about portions, the rest of your diet, and your individual health needs. But even if you get the portion exactly right, there's something blueberries cannot tell you. And that brings us to the question most people really want answered. How long until you notice a benefit? Here's the answer most health videos don't want to give you. You may never actually feel the blueberries working. There may be no special morning when you wake up and suddenly know that your healthy eating habits have started doing something. You don't eat blueberries on Monday and wake up on Friday with perfect vision. That's not how nutrition usually works. The absence of a dramatic feeling doesn't mean a healthy habit has no value. It simply means nutrition is not an instant before and after event. A nutritious food is usually one part of a long-term pattern. One breakfast doesn't transform your health. One bowl doesn't guarantee protection. But small habits, repeated over time, can become part of a bigger approach to healthy aging. And honestly, that may not sound as exciting as a miracle promise, but it's much more useful because it helps you stop searching for one dramatic answer and start building habits you can realistically continue. If you're finding this information helpful so far, take a moment to like the video and subscribe for more practical, easy to understand health information. Now comes the most important part of this entire video, because after everything we've said about blueberries, the most important thing you do for your eyesight after 60 may not happen in your kitchen at all. You could eat blueberries every morning. You could eat the healthiest breakfast imaginable and still miss a problem that needed attention, because food can support your health, but food cannot tell you what is happening inside your eyes. That's why protecting your vision has to be about more than finding the right fruit. Your eyes don't live separately from the rest of your body. High blood sugar can affect tiny blood vessels throughout the body, including those connected to eye health. High blood pressure can affect blood vessels throughout the body as well. Smoking is associated with increased risks for serious eye problems, and long-term exposure to sunlight makes appropriate eye protection worth thinking about. Then there is another important issue. Some eye conditions can develop gradually enough that you may not immediately realize something is changing. That's why appropriate regular eye care can matter, not because you should live in fear, but because waiting until something feels obviously wrong is not always the best strategy. And now, there is one situation where none of this nutrition advice matters. If your vision suddenly changes, if you suddenly lose vision, if you experience a major sudden change in what you can see, if you notice new flashes of light, a curtain or shadow over part of your vision, or severe eye pain, don't wait to see whether blueberries, food, or a home remedy helps. Food is not emergency treatment. Sudden or serious vision changes can require urgent medical attention, and that's an important distinction. Blueberries can be part of your diet. They cannot take the place of urgent care when something serious happens. Now, blueberries aren't the only nutritious fruit worth eating. Variety matters too. Different fruits can contribute different nutrients. Citrus fruits can provide vitamin C. Papaya can provide carotenoids and other nutrients. Other colorful fruits can add nutritional variety to your diet, but you don't need to turn this into a search for 5 miracle foods. The reason blueberries are the focus of this video is simple. They're easy to find, easy to add to meals, available fresh or frozen, and their anthocyanins make them particularly interesting to researchers studying nutrition and healthy aging. So, should blueberries stay on your shopping list after 60? If you enjoy them, they can be one simple, nutritious choice. But don't make the mistake of asking one food to do the job of your entire lifestyle. After 60, it's tempting to search for one answer, one supplement, one food, one secret. Something that promises to stop everything from getting worse. But health rarely works that way. Taking care of your eyes is usually less about finding one miracle answer and more about paying attention to the things that matter over time. Your overall health, your daily habits, your eye care, and yes, the foods you choose to eat. Your eyes have been working for you your entire life, helping you experience things you may barely stop to think about, the faces you recognize, the road ahead, the words on a page, the moments you would never want to stop seeing. Taking care of your eyes doesn't require perfection, but it does require attention. And blueberries, they're not a shield against vision loss. They're one practical, nutritious habit within a much bigger approach to healthy aging. Now you know one fruit that may deserve a place in your day, but there's another fruit-related question many people never think to ask. What happens when you eat fruit before bed? The next video explores exactly that. Click it now, and I'll see you there.